He was a man of contradictions, a British officer who became a desert warrior, a strategist who despised war, and a hero who questioned his own legacy. T.E. Lawrence, or Lawrence of Arabia, didn't just live history, he shaped it. But who was the man behind the legend? And why does his story still fascinate us today? Born in 1888, Thomas Edward Lawrence grew up in a less-than-traditional household. His parents never married, a scandalous detail for the time, but young Lawrence was anything but ordinary. By his teens, he was already fascinated with history, often cycling hundreds of miles to visit medieval castles. That passion earned him a spot at Oxford, where he dove headfirst into archaeology and the culture of the Middle East. Little did he know that his love for ancient ruins would prepare him for one of the most daring campaigns of the First World War. In 1916, the world was in chaos. The First World War raged on, and the Ottoman Empire was crumbling. Enter Lawrence, a junior intelligence officer stationed in Cairo. He was sent to evaluate the Arab Revolt's potential as a strategic ally against Ottoman rule, but ended up becoming its unlikely champion. With his sharp mind and knack for strategy, Lawrence quickly gained the trust of Emir Faisal, one of the revolt's leaders. But Lawrence didn't just advise. He fought alongside the Arabs, adopting their customs, language, and even their clothing. Lawrence's ability to endure the harsh desert conditions, blistering heat, endless sandstorms, and grueling marches earned him the respect of his Arab allies. Lawrence used his unconventional way of thinking to mastermind a series of guerrilla attacks that boggled the Ottomans. His tactics were radical, blowing up railways, ambushing supply lines, and disappearing into the vast desert before anyone could retaliate. In 1917, Lawrence turned his sights on Aqaba, a vital Ottoman-held port city on the Red Sea. His decision to target Aqaba was born out of a mix of strategic necessity and his unorthodox approach to warfare. The Ottomans had fortified the city heavily, and it was believed that any attack would need to come by sea. But Lawrence, ever the innovator, saw an opportunity to strike from the land, an audacious move that few would have dared consider. The reason was simple. Aqaba was crucial for the Ottoman supply lines, and if it fell, it would cripple their control of the region and open the door for the Arab forces to advance further. Lawrence led his Arab allies on a perilous trek across the Nephid Desert, a vast and merciless stretch of land that most believed was impassable. For weeks, they battled the scorching heat, the endless sand, and the unforgiving landscape of the Nephid, all while racing against time. It was during this grueling trek that one of their group, Qasim, fell behind. He was presumed dead by his companions. It was a death sentence they all accepted, but not Lawrence. While others argued it was fate, Lawrence defied them with a simple yet profound declaration: "Nothing is written." Against all odds, he turned back into the vast, blistering wasteland to find Qasim. Hours later, when hope seemed as parched as the desert itself, Lawrence returned, Qasim alive by his side. It wasn't just a rescue, it was a statement. In a world bound by tradition and fatalism, Lawrence proved that grit, defiance, and sheer willpower could rewrite the story.
Nothing is written.
Lawrence believed in challenging fate itself, rejecting the idea that destiny was fixed. This philosophy fueled his daring approach to warfare, inspiring those around him to defy the odds. When they finally reached the city, they struck with a suddenness that took the Ottoman defenders by complete surprise. The capture of Aqaba was swift, and the Ottomans, expecting a sea assault, were left unprepared for the daring land-based attack. The significance of Aqaba's capture was far-reaching. Militarily, it severed the Ottomans' access to the Red Sea, cutting off vital supply lines and forcing them to reconsider their position in the region. Strategically, it marked a turning point in the Arab Revolt, proving that Lawrence's unconventional tactics could achieve the impossible. But perhaps most importantly, it was a huge morale boost for the Arab forces, showing them that with the right leadership and determination, they could defeat the mighty Ottomans. For Lawrence, it was a moment of triumph that not only secured his legacy as a brilliant military strategist, but also solidified his place as a hero in the Arab struggle for independence. But the man behind the myth was deeply conflicted. Lawrence struggled with his dual identity, part British officer, part Arab ally. He even wrote about his experiences in his memoir, 7 Pillars of Wisdom, which blends action, philosophy, and a fair share of self-doubt. It is far more than just a war memoir. It's a riveting, often philosophical account of a man torn between two worlds. Written after the events of the Arab Revolt, Lawrence reflects on his time in the desert, blending thrilling tales of daring guerrilla warfare with deep questions about loyalty, identity, and the moral cost of empire. The book's title, inspired by a Quranic poem, serves as a metaphor for the personal revelations he had while leading Arab forces against the Ottomans. Yet, it's not all heroism and glory. Lawrence is candid about his internal struggles, often questioning whether he truly helped the Arab cause or was simply a pawn in a larger game. It depicts a man who revolutionized warfare and was left to wrestle with the lasting impact of his choices. By day, I was one of them. By night, I was a stranger, he wrote. Fame weighed heavily on him, and he retreated from the spotlight after the war. Lawrence's story didn't end with the war. His role in shaping the Middle East's future and the controversial borders drawn after the war remains a hotly debated topic. Was he a hero, a pawn of imperialism, or something in between? One thing is certain: Lawrence of Arabia left a mark that time has yet to erase. T. Lawrence was a man of vision, courage, and complexity. His story is one of adventure and intrigue, but also of reflection and regret. Perhaps that's why it endures, because like the shifting sands of the desert he loved, his legacy is ever-changing. If you enjoyed this dive into the life of Lawrence of Arabia, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.